Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back for a sort of combo mod review and mod throwback with Psyker Powers 2.0 by Catapum. This is a mod that came out quite a while ago, but has been completely revamped and re-released in a new, more, well, let's say functional state. This mod is by no means lore friendly, as it adds a ton of new magic psychic abilities for your character to use, but it sure is fun. If you're looking for something to do just to have a little bit of fun for a few hours, this is definitely a mod that you could install just to play around with. You are given access to all of these powers once you complete a small quest or just cheat the item into your inventory, and then there is a menu where you can collect all of the powers that you'd wish to use. Some of them work as mines, while others work as aid items, so just look at your inventory and you can figure them all out. So we're going to start testing out these abilities in the order that they appear in my inventory, starting with the charge ability, which will deal a little bit of damage and some stagger to your enemies. Additionally, it teleports you to whichever direction you are looking, and can be used to travel across some pretty big gaps, as you can see there. We can also use it to travel back. Up next we have Cryoblast, which does a big blast of cryo damage that will instantly freeze or even kill your enemies. Up next we have Force Fist, which deals a big chunk of damage and has a chance to stagger your enemies. It functions as a melee weapon.
Think something's broken.
Up next we have the Lance ability, which will absorb health from enemies or deal damage if they are robots. This will, in turn, increase your own health while taking theirs away. Moving on, we have the Nova ability, which creates a large blast that will push enemies away, and is probably one of the more fun spells in this pack. Up next, we have Singularity, which will damage enemies over time and then explode for one last final bit of damage. The next spell we have is Smite, which kind of does exactly what you'd expect it to. It sends a giant blast of lightning directly onto the enemy and, well, in his case, kills him instantly. In a similar vein, we now have Spontaneous Combustion, which, again, kind of self-explanatory. Sets all enemies ablaze and has a pretty big blast radius. Up next we have Telekinetic Push, which will knock down enemies in melee range and also deal 100 damage. Which, in the case of our friend here, means death. Also, with this mod, anytime you walk up to an enemy after becoming a Psyker, you can activate an enemy to boil their blood, which will, well, do that. There are also a handful of abilities that are not focused on combat, the first of which is Barrier, which creates a protective barrier around you that can also deflect bullets. The next of which is called Fear Me Walking, which will create 2 minutes of sheer terror to all enemies, which will make them run away in fear.
And you picked the wrong fight.
I hit invisibility. There we go. And now he's terrified. Which brings us to our third ability that I accidentally activated, which is Invisibility. At the press of a button, you are now invisible, without the use of a stealth boy. The next ability, Might of the Titan, gives you incredible strength and speed, and can make you run and jump at incredible speeds and heights, which can be a good heap of fun. The next two abilities are pretty self-explanatory. Precognition allows you to increase your perception and makes it easier to detect enemies around you. Reconstitution, at the press of a button, will heal you and restore all of your radiation damage. And then the last ability, which we will show now, is Warp Time, which will freeze time for 15 seconds at the cost of 40 AP. Just like that, we have frozen time. It's not actually frozen, but rather slowed down to about the speed of VATS, but it's still pretty helpful. So yeah, guys, that was Psyker Powers by Catapum. This mod is definitely interesting, as you can see. It adds a ton of cool, unique abilities that are, again, really fun to play with, but not very lore-friendly. But like I said, if you're looking to just have some fun for a little while, this can be a pretty neat little thing. Keep in mind, though, this mod is kind of unstable still. I crashed my game, and my game never crashes. I crashed my game about 3 or 4 times during this recording, and it doesn't always work. Sometimes you can tell, like activating 2 of the 8 items at once will crash your game pretty quickly. and sometimes using some bigger abilities like the Nova on multiple enemies would also crash my game. Regardless though, it is worth giving a shot if you want to try it out for yourself. It'll be linked in the description so you can try it, and it is still a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. It helps me get in that algorithm and helps get Fallout 4 mod videos to all the people who want them. And consider subscribing to get more Fallout 4 modding content in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!